This is the Hella Creative Archive, where we explore the creative processes of hella creative people. All right, third time's a charm. Welcome to the Hella Creative Podcast, where we explore the creative processes of hella creative people. Welcome.
Thank you.
So, who are you and how are you hella creative?
So I am high heel doula, and with all of the things that I do in community and as an artist, I found myself to be hella creative because of all the things that I have birthed thus far and all the things that I am working to birth in this season. So with my particular creative process, I am very, very, very intentional about how I create. Very intentional about what output I have because I'm a very empathetic creative. So really finding my niche for how, when, where, why do I create is always a streamline of my creative process.
So talk to me about creating for entertainment versus creating for intentional consumption.
So I do not create for entertainment.
Why?
Because right now in this current society, there is a increase in consumption and people are over consuming messages that don't belong to them. So I pride myself on creating intentionally based on my particular story and based on what I know that I need. And because I know what I need, my hope is that what I create also inspires and activates others on their journey. So it's never to entertain really nothing. It's all to activate, inspire, and intentionally consume the messages.
Okay. So I asked that because you have a project coming out, Forgive, which is something that you noted that is for intentional consumption. So I guess talk about what is let's talk about just the creative process of Forgive and like what that journey was.
So this project started in the summer of 2020. I reached out to a production company and I was like, I really want to make this project. And, I told them my complete idea. So my complete idea from the start was for it to be on vinyl, no streaming platforms, completely one person producing the entire project, 4 songs. Like the whole vision had already been curated, but I didn't know how I was going to do absolutely any of it, right? And I think that's one of the processes of being a creative is like you have to stick with your vision.
Yes. And
do not waver, even when it feels like your vision is not going to be fully successful. Like still sticking with what you dreamed of initially. So I hit up a producer called Red Beats and Rice. And, I was telling them, I want it to be hip hop. It's going to be a 4-song EP. It's going to be about forgiveness. I want it to be like boom bap, but also like gospel jazz, like, a mix of all of these, a fusion of all of the music that got us to where we are currently, right? So yeah, we were going back and forth all summer. I was like, can you add some water? Can you add some birds? Can you add this? So like that was the first time I was very involved in the creative process of the beats. Like every sound was intentional. Every sound that you'll hear on this project was like very intentional. And then once we had all the beats done, I started working with this producer, and it didn't work out. Okay, and I was just like, okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna put it on the shelf until the right opportunity presents itself. And then I applied for the recording residency at Material Institute, which is where you get to record a project fully professionally for free.
Wow.
And I pitched this project, and I was like, they were like, you are the top ranking, like, applicant. Like,
Wow.
there was no other way that you weren't going to get this. So I was like, okay, cool. And that was also my third year applying for that residency. So it's also like, you know, when the time is right, it's like right, you know. So yeah, did that, recorded it, and then I was like, now how am I going to pay for this vinyl? Because vinyls are not cheap at all. So I ended up talking to the owner of the record press, and he was like, well, we do have this deal for independent artists in New Orleans where we'll press them for free for you, and you'll have a limited edition copy where you can you know, sell it to your audience, and then you'll have 250 that'll go in different vinyl shops around the city. And I was like, well, what do I have to do? And he was like, send me the music, and if I like it, then we can move forward.
Wow.
So I was like, okay, I mean, all right, I'm gonna send it to you, you know. And I sent it to him, and he was like, yeah, let's move forward. And yeah, this whole project has been like a project of like true faith, you know, like from the start to the beginning. And it's about forgiveness, which is like in 2020, a whole bunch of things were happening in my life where I had to activate this particular currency of forgiveness in order for me to like be where I am today, you know. I had to activate the sweetness so that, you know, I didn't become bitter towards people, towards situations, towards experiences. And that's what birthed this entire project, you know. That's what really opened me up to receive bringing this project to life, you know.
So talk about the alchemy of your emotions, starting it to now. You talked about how in the beginning you needed to activate the forgiveness, and I'm sure we still need to practice that. But what has that been as you were like creating these songs?
It was a lot of crying, a lot of like truly understanding what forgiveness is. Because, you know, it's like a hype word also, like where people say, I forgive you, but they really haven't even forgiven themselves first. So like this whole journey was, yes, forgiving other people, but also like forgiving myself for like everything that I have attracted in my life that has caused any type of harm to me. And it's, you know, it's so many things that we could say to like, well, you didn't attract that and you did it, but we are in an electric world. And because we're in an electric world, everything that comes to us, we magnetize to us. The good, the bad, and the indifferent. So this forgiveness journey caused me to forgive myself first, which takes a lot to like look in the mirror and be like, I forgive you for this, that, this, and really be real about it. Like really like be fully clear about what it is that you attracted to your circle, to your realm, you know. And it's also like, so GIVE is a acronym for the 4 songs on the album. And I would like to say that these are the 4 steps that I had to go through in order to like truly forgive. So the first one was grounding. So like grounding myself in who I am, but also grounding myself in the fact that there will be better days. Period. That there will be better days, right? And then the second one is insight. So like truly knowing that my particular insight is right and real. And no matter what anyone tells me, feels about how I feel, I know that my insight is informed by higher powers. So grounding that insight helped to validate, which is validation, my evolution. So that's the acronym of forgive. So the validation comes with me knowing who I am and where I've come from and knowing where I'm going. So that particular song, I asked the producer, so I come from a very musical family here in New Orleans called the Lashley family. my aunt is a singer, and she traveled all over the world singing gospel music. So this particular song is one of her most well-known songs called "Will the Circle Be Unbroken." So my uncles are playing the trumpet and the sax and all these things on the track, and we snipped pieces of that and put it together for the track for this song. And then evolution is like, I mean, the concept of elevation, you know, the concept of evolving beyond your humanness, you know, beyond your feelings, beyond your flesh, and truly just being in a flow of forgiveness, like every day, like, you know, continuing to keep it activated. So, yeah.
What do you hope that, I guess, the select few that end up coming and and being able, but that's gonna come into intentionally consume this? What did you other than forgiveness, what are some takeaways or like some things that you hope that would resonate with people or will vibrate with people after they listen to this?
I hope that it truly brings forth introspection in a way that allows all of us to evolve. So the people that are going to be getting the limited edition copy are also going to be getting a mug, tea blend, a pen, and a journal. And then, of course, if you get the vinyl, you'll have to get a record player.
Right. That's what I was just thinking too. Like,
so like even the intentional idea of sitting down and like putting the needle on the vinyl, just like bringing intentionality back into our every move. You know, because everything is a ritual, and how can we continue to like be present in the rituals that we're activating when we're consuming really anything, food, music, movies? Like, how can we get back to the ritual of consumption? And that's what I really hope and trust that this particular experience will help to formulate in the people who get the limited edition copy.
That's beautiful. So speaking of evolution, I'm curious about your evolution as a mover, as a dancer, and the evolution of self-producing a body of work, activating dance. Talk to me about that.
Okay, so this project, So Forgive, is the project that is going to be only on vinyl, and then Merkaba, which Merkaba means chariot, is going to be a 7-song album that's going to activate that dormant dance energy. So as I said before, like everything that I create is for me first and foremost, right? And Merkaba was created because when I was a little girl, I was called the dancing machine, right? You could not have me at a party and not know that Delise, High Heel Doula, was going to be on the dance floor, okay? And when I was 6, and this is like from literally birth, like I was the dancer, you know, second lines, like everything. I was the mover, you know? And I was about 6 or 7 when my mother, you know, I love her. When my mother, like pulled me off the dance floor in a very traumatic way, and like I never danced ever again. And this particular project is to get back to the rhythm the rhythm of my soul, really, to get back to what I know that I can do, you know? And yeah, it was a lot of long nights, a lot of like, is this the right sound for this song? That truly like helped me to formulate what Merkaba is now. Yeah, and it's all produced by me, all like mixed, mastered, all that good stuff. So it also put me in the headspace of like creating my own sound.
Yeah.
And it's like it like goes through like similar to Forgive. Like, you know, I come from a church background, so like it goes through blues and gospel and jazz and like Cuba, because I'm also half Cuban, so it's like a mix between all of that and all of the sounds that I created in this particular project. And this particular project will be available on streaming platforms. And the way that it's going to roll out, similar to this intentional Forgive, is through a dance series for the community. So I've collaborated with Doula Dance Company, and they're going to be choreographing different things for the community with all the 7 songs. And we're going to have food and sound healing and aromatherapy and all that good stuff. And then we're going to get to the movement of the day. So, you know, activating that dormant dance energy is really where this particular project sits for me. And it came out together because they kind of together, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, in this, so how long was this process of...
With Merkaba?
Yeah, with Merkaba.
So Merkaba was born 2 years ago. And I went on
And was it... Okay, wait.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So 2 years ago, is it like you danced and then you was like, okay, I need to have this project? Or it was like, I need something to dance to and I need it to be my own, like the beat of my own drum?
Yes, that's what it was. The latter is what it was.
Okay.
Yeah, I just felt like I needed something that...
You needed your vibration.
Yes.
Okay.
Like in the tune, in order for me to truly activate it all. Yeah.
So that's you as a sound scientist.
Yeah.
So talk to me about your sound, like your practice of as a sound scientist and like what that means to you.
So I like to say that like sound is one of the most powerful things on the planet, right? Sound can literally shift our vibration and our frequency from high to low, from low to high. And the ways in which the Kemetic Egyptian people were able to build the pyramids were through like frequencies that allowed them to feel light in their bodies. And that particular lightness is where I find a sweet spot of like wanting to activate that within us, you know. Yeah, and the sound science is because I be experimenting. You know, I be experimenting with sounds and words and like all of these things for the sake of healing and activating and inspiring. You know? Yeah,
that's beautiful. So, one last question. What would you say to 15-year-old you in your artistic practice and wherever you were? What would you say to you at that time?
I would say, even though you may feel like an outlier amongst your peers, your family, know that you belong to a bigger web of creatives, of source energy. Yeah, know that you are loved, you know, beyond measures. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Well, thank you.
Thank you
for talking.
Yes.
Where can the people find you? What services do you have? Are you offering? Let them know.
So you can find out all my services on my website at highhealproductions.com. The Heal is spelled HEAL. And I offer healing modalities in many different ways, from performing to sound baths, both vocal and with sound bowls. I'm a doula, so I offer full spectrum doula services. I'm a chef, so I offer food, you know, all that good stuff. You can find it all on my website at highhealproductions.com. the goal is to heal by any means. So that's where we at.
Ashe.
Yes.
Thanks, y'all. Thank you. Yeah.
Emasculating, gravitating and captivating like negative energy. Track the greatest in a pack of nation, bigger give synergy over it. Positive vibes and smolder it in our essence for free. Cancel madness with the vibes and kill it benevolently. And evidently we give autumn leaves to the winter's tree. The bohemians living minds with freedom from belittlement, self-balanced and light and high through the medium. Discipline and control undid the hinge on the soul that like truth. And so now I'm high on life, just adventure. I stroll so unusual through the world. Time and I truly quarrel. My mind is to root this world and this tree of life designed to close feudal flows. The school ain't teach this. Participated every day in class, but the neocortex